Over the past several months, we've seen the decentralized finance movement evolve into a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it has been primarily fueled by a new phenomenon known as yield farming. This is the act of holding funds in smart contracts and earning interest in the form of yields through the process of farming by simply holding tokens in these liquidity pools. There are new opportunities popping up all of the time. If you want to go with a little bit of a safer option, you can get into some of the larger liquidity pools. There is some issues when you're dealing with Ethereum because of the high transaction fees. You might pay $20 or $30 to transact, but when you're getting into these liquidity pools, you typically have to transact multiple times. And so those fees can seriously add up. And that has really kind of stifled that movement in a sense. And we're starting to see a surge in Tron. Now, I've looked at a number of different projects in the yield farming. I've been looking at this and doing a lot of research over the past month or so. In this video, we're going to take a look at the Bankroll Network's yield farming that's just launched here in the past few days, and it is producing amazing returns right now. This is one you definitely want to take a look at. I'm going to give you guys a walkthrough, show you guys where some of the opportunity is with one of the most trusted, established ecosystems on the Tron blockchain. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Clover Crypto. If you're looking to learn more about decentralized finance, trading, and other passive income opportunities, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out. Yield farming has changed quite a bit over these past few months. It really started and is closely related to the decentralized automated market makers such as Uniswap. You had the ability to be a liquidity provider. You had to deal with things like impermanent loss. Say you had an Ethereum pair and Ethereum crashed, you're losing money in that scenario. So one of the things that we've started to see in some of these other yield farming projects is zero impermanent loss alternatives. And so you're investing into the pool and then you're earning a dividend token. In the scenario with Bankroll, you're earning banker token. So based on providing liquidity into that pool, your value doesn't change and you have those tokens. It's another way to hold tokens and hold some of their value. And some of these tokens are looking really good. The Sun token, the Just token, I've talked about these before in some of my live streams. They've been some of my top DeFi token picks because some of the congestion issues that we've seen on Ethereum and some of the uncertainty there, I think we could really start to see a surge into the Tron ecosystem. And another consideration is the explosion in price that we've seen recently in the Banker token. It is approaching all-time highs. It's the Bitcoin of the Bankroll ecosystem. It's encompassing all of these different projects within the Tron ecosystem side of this. We also have the Vault token, which is perhaps the baseline token that we have in all of the Ethereum-based projects in Bankroll, but Banker token has been the foundational token of this entire ecosystem. And as the difficulty of the mining increases, the value should increase more because it's becoming harder and harder to obtain Banker tokens. So that's another thing. We'll probably see some price volatility here as farming is really kind of a new phenomenon. So, you know, that's one of the things that you could look at. You can kind of day trade Banker token either on Tron Trade. You can swap it directly on the Swap app inside of the Bankroll ecosystem. You can also swap it on Just Swap. So it's a very liquid token, and it's one that has a lot of incentive to hold as it's, you know, encompassing in all of the different projects within Bankroll. If you're looking to get involved with the pools with the biggest gains, that could be one strategy. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm kind of taking a look at. I think you want to also look at the token dynamics. Is this a token that you want to hold or that you believe is going to go up in value? I'm certainly bullish on a lot of these tokens that are on the Tron blockchain that are being incorporated into this ecosystem, but maybe perhaps not everyone feels the same way. One way to protect yourself is getting into some of the stable tokens, and so you can still, you know, take on some of those gains, but you do have a little bit more of a you know, a solid valuation that's not going to fluctuate as much. So, you know, the big key here is the Banker token is really the underlying token that is fueling this ecosystem. And so that's what you're earning in this farming Dapp, and you have the ability to compound by adding more Tron or some of the other tokens in its ecosystem earning dividends and selling your banker tokens or swapping them for other tokens. So there's a lot of different options that you have the ability to work with. So I think that there's a lot of really cool aspects to this. And if I'm looking at it, I'm going to be looking at the average APY, and so there is a statistic on that when you're looking at some of the different options. There's been 8 options that have been added. There will probably be some more that are added into the future. These last 2 came on in the last 24 hours, the HT token, as well as the Bitcoin, the wrapped Bitcoin token. So that's really interesting to see that you do have the ability to have some exposure to Bitcoin in that sense. So it's another way to get into a liquidity pool that is Bitcoin based. But I'm looking at the average, and I'm kind of looking at some of the ones that are above average, at least right now. I mean, those are going to fluctuate all of the time, but I'm taking a lot of my earnings from some of the other Dapps that I've gotten into. I've done a few videos on that. I'll link them in the description below. I've gotten into some higher risk stuff, and one of the ways that I'm locking in profits is to take some of my earnings on some of these higher risk ROI style Dapps, some of the other things that we've seen in the Tron space, on the in the Tron Dapp space. And you can take some of those earnings and roll them into something that's a lot more safe and stable. And I think one of the best options for that is going to be the yield farming options with Bankroll. So a lot of really cool aspects to everything that's incorporated here. You also have Stronghold, which is another way to earn Tron by getting involved with that liquidity pool. And there's also some of the legacy tools. I'm still in Daily Plus. You also have the Boost, which is kind of like an hourglass style contract for BTT tokens. There's a lot of different offerings, and all of the stuff that they've done on Ethereum is another one that I'm looking to explore. The Bankroll ecosystem. There's been a lot that's been updated here over these past several months. A lot of new things have happened, but I feel right now probably some of the best opportunity is in the banker token, and it's in this yield farming. If you're new to Bankroll, perhaps you're new to Tron, you're going to want to make sure that you have the Tron Link extension installed that acts as your wallet. I've left that link in the description below. And then you're simply going to navigate to the Bankroll farming website. I've left that in the description as well. Use that link. You're going to approve whichever pool that you would like to get involved with, and that transaction is going to go through, and then you're going to want to go in and deposit. And so I like to have the amount of banker that I'm kind of wanting to invest into the pool, and then you can go into the pool that you would like to get involved with, and you can kind of type in some numbers and try to find, like, say if you have 100 banker or something that you want to pair that with a particular coin, you're going to go in and just kind of try and test out a few numbers to kind of get close to your 100 banker goal. That's the way that I was doing this, to basically figure out how much I wanted to invest. You can go over to Just Swap and you can just swap the coins over. You can go on Tron Trade, and you can also trade them that way. You can try to pick them up at some better prices. I've left both of those links in the description below. So once you're getting involved with this pool, you're going to be earning banker, and you'll see that in your dividend portion of your farm. When you select the farm that you're in, you will also see an overview at the top. And one of the nice things that has been added recently is you also have the total liquidity that's in each of these pools. And so that gives you an idea of how much is invested in each of these pools. And so another strategy that you may want to employ is getting in one that maybe has less. You have perhaps some more opportunity for gains. You have a larger percentage of that pool. But there's some different things. I think that just checking back in and testing some of these out. One strategy that was proposed, which I don't know if it's going to be the greatest idea, but you see some of the APYs really increase. And so what some people thought would be a good strategy is to pull out and then re-put into the pool. And that was discouraged because you're not actually gaining a whole lot by doing that. It would be in your best interest to just hold in the pool and actually compound and add more in. And that's probably a better strategy for long-term gains if you're looking at it that way. So when these gains are at very high levels, that might be a really good opportunity to get in And one of the things that fuels that is the price of the Banker token, because it's the underlying asset for all of these. And so it'll take a little bit of experimentation. You know, you can be very diversified. That's another approach. And I think that you'll start to see that with a lot of people that are getting involved with this, is getting into a lot of different pools. It's one of the things that I'm doing. It's a great way to diversify and hold a lot of value in all of these while simultaneously earning in all of these pools. So I'm really excited about this. I think this is one of the best options out there in yield farming on Tron. You know, we've seen Pearl Finance, we've seen JFI, we've seen a few other projects that have kind of come and gone, and they had you know, high interest rates at one point, and then we've kind of seen their token really crash because it was a new token that was on the market. I don't believe you're going to see that with the Banker token, because there's so much utility that's built behind it. There's so many different Dapps and applications that it integrates with. You don't see that in the same way on some of these other projects, and you don't have some of the same transparency. I mean, some of these projects really have kind of come and gone, and there's several of them out there. I'll be sure to do an update here in the near future, kind of covering some of those other options. But I really feel that the bankroll yield farming ecosystem is really the gold standard when you're looking at Tron. And I feel this is one that would be really good to get into right now while the interest rates are high. You have a really good opportunity to ROI in a very short period of time. And we've already seen a few people that got in on the early days and have already been able to do that. So it's been pretty incredible from that standpoint. So, you know, just a lot of opportunity in this. I encourage you guys to get in the Telegram group and ask questions if you have a few other things that perhaps aren't as clear. I've left the group in the description below, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know, have you heard of other, you know, projects in the Tron ecosystem, other things that you might be interested in? I'm curious to hear, you know, your guys' thoughts in the comments section below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.